The countdown is coming to a close, or maybe for you, it's even over. The papers are graded, the classroom's packed up, the last bus has pulled away. And if you're anything like most teachers right now, you're dreaming about sleeping in and sitting outside during the day when the sun is actually out, finally taking a deep breath, getting that opportunity to go to the bathroom when you want to. But here's something I've noticed after working with teachers for years and being one myself. Some teachers come back at the beginning of the next school year feeling refreshed and inspired and ready for a new year. And others, they just come back as exhausted as they were when they left. We had the same amount of summer. We had the same amount of time off, completely different results though. So what is the difference? Well, today I want to talk about why some teachers recover and others stay exhausted. And I'll share a simple 3-step process that you can use to help you actually use this summer to feel like yourself again.
Hey friends, welcome to Enjoy Teaching Again, the podcast for teachers who love the work but need a little spark to bring the joy back. I'm your host, Elizabeth Peterson, classroom teacher, arts integration specialist, and passionate educator of over 25 years. If you're overwhelmed by behaviors, disengaged students, and long, exhausting days, you are not alone. But together, we can turn things around and you can teach with confidence and purpose again. So locate that cold coffee of yours, find your favorite pen, I know you have one, and let's dive in. It's time to get inspired and enjoy teaching again. Okay, let's make this so simple. You do not need another 400-page teacher manual. You don't need another random PD session. You don't need a full classroom makeover. And for heaven's sakes, you do not need a new initiative. What you need is a reset. You need a clear plan. And that's exactly what the Classroom Reset gives you. It is a step-by-step framework that you can move through at your own pace. It's short trainings, practical strategies, and immediate implementation. I mean, you can learn something one day and put it into practice the very next day. No fluff, no overwhelm, no stress. We're all about no stress here at the Inspired Classroom. And no adding 17 new things to your plate or having to carve out time in your day to implement these things. This is going to dramatically change your teaching and your classroom in some of the smallest and most powerful ways possible. You're going to take what fits your style, your grade, your content, your students, and you implement it right away. In just the first week, I promise you, you're going to start noticing a difference. So if you're done spinning your wheels and you want a clear path forward, this is it. Go to theinspiredclassroom.com/reset and let's make this so easy.
One of the biggest myths that teachers believe is that burnout will automatically start to disappear once summer starts. Maybe you think to yourself, if I can just make it till June, if I can just get through these last few weeks, if I can just sleep for 3 days straight. And don't get me wrong, I love a good nap as much as the next exhausted teacher, but here's what I've noticed. Some teachers get plenty of rest over the summer and still come back feeling drained. Why? Well, because exhaustion isn't always just physical. Sometimes it's also emotional. Sometimes it's the accumulation of hundreds of tiny frustrations that never got acknowledged. Teaching is one of those professions where we rarely stop long enough to process what we're experiencing. I mean, think about it. You move from lesson to lesson, student to student, meeting to meeting, problem to problem. And before you know it, an entire school year has gone by. And here's the thing. Exhaustion and burnout, they don't magically disappear the moment you walk out of the school building on the last day. You can't just drive home, put your feet up, and completely forget that you've been teaching and caring and problem solving. and encouraging and redirecting and showing up for kids for the last 10 months. It just doesn't work that way. That's kind of like taking everything that's scattered around your house and then just shoving it into a closet before company comes over. You know the closet I'm talking about, right? Maybe you even have one. I know I do. The one where you toss the random cords, the extra blankets, the piles of paper, the stuff you don't even know what to do with but can't quite throw away. And for a moment, it feels better because the mess is gone. Except it's not actually gone, is it? You just can't see it anymore. And that's what a lot of teachers do at the beginning of the summer or just before they leave for summer, right? We might take all the things that have been lying around our classrooms, the random fraction bars that got lost and found, the extra things here and the unfinished binders we meant to organize and start putting them away because we just want to finish our year. We start shoving them into cabinets and closets and boxes. But it's not just the physical stuff. It's also the stress, the frustration, the disappointment, the exhaustion from the year that we try to just shove away or leave at school, hoping that it just starts to evaporate into thin air. And that's another thing that keeps teachers exhausted long after the school year ends. The emotional backpack. Now, I know, this is super cliche, right? We've all been spoken to about the emotional backpacks that our students bring to school, but there is one that we can tend to bring home. And when we do this in the summertime, it can really affect us. Now, even if you're super stellar at packing up your classroom for the summer, you can still start your summer feeling really depleted because that invisible backpack, it's like every year we add more things to it. Maybe it's a difficult student, a tough parent interaction, a lesson that completely bombed, a classroom goal that we never got to reach, a student we worried about all year, even a colleague conflict or a moment we wish we had handled differently. The thing is, even if we can't recall specific things or name what's bothering us, it's there. And we throw all of it into this backpack and just keep walking. The problem is that you get so used to it, you keep carrying it, you forget it's there, and you can tend to bring it home even into the summer. And here's something to consider. The fact that you have this emotional backpack, it means you care, but caring and carrying aren't the same thing. You can care deeply about a child without taking responsibility for every outcome in their life. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves, I was part of their story, but I was not responsible for writing their entire book. But the answer isn't to just take that backpack and toss it into the closet with everything else and slam the door shut, because again, that might make it disappear for a little while, but it won't help you walk back into school feeling truly refreshed and ready for a new year. Shoving things into the closet, it doesn't make them go away. It just delays things. It delays you recovering. It delays you from the healing that you might need. It delays the opportunity to sort through things that may have happened, figure out lessons you want to keep, and just let go of any of the weight that you don't want anymore. And before you know it, you're standing at the beginning of a brand new school year, carrying around things that belonged in the last one. That's why summer isn't just about rest. It really is about recovery so that you can enter a new school year truly refreshed and ready. Think about a real closet for a moment. If every year you kept throwing more and more stuff in there without ever cleaning it out, eventually you'd run out of room, right? You wouldn't be able to find what you need. You'd probably open the door and things would start coming out. That's what can happen emotionally too. The things we don't process, they don't disappear. They just get stored away until something reminds us that they're still there. And that's why, while some teachers come back to school feeling truly refreshed, others feel like they never left. And it's not necessarily about giving yourself time to rest more. It's also about taking some time to sort through some of the things that maybe happened during the year. That's why I want to share with you 3 simple steps that can help you to clean out the closet this summer. And the first step is to reflect. I'll tell you, so much of what we need as teachers starts with reflection. And I want you to think about reflection like cleaning out a cluttered closet. You probably know this feeling, right? You open the closet and things start falling right out, right? There's a sweater you forgot you owned, or a box you moved 3 times and never opened, the random stuff you're pretty sure you might need someday. And even though you've learned to live with that clutter, it still takes up space. It takes up mental space, it takes up physical space, and it even takes your energy. And then one day you finally decide, all right, that's it. I'm cleaning this thing out. So you pull everything out. And for a while, it actually might look worse, right? Your whole room is covered in piles. You find things you forgot were even there, things that maybe don't even fit you anymore, things that you don't even like anymore. But then something interesting happens. You start making decisions. You think, okay, this is going to stay, this is going to go, this belongs somewhere else. This has served its purpose, and I no longer need to have it in here anymore. And when you're finished, the closet isn't just cleaner. You feel like, oh, so much better. Like you can breathe again. You can start finding what you need. You have room for something new. Reflection can work the same way. At the end of the school year, many of us have closets full of emotional clutter. The difficult student we're worried about, a lesson that flopped, the parent conversation that didn't go well. And you may not even remember what actually happened that would allow this emotional clutter to get in. But what will happen is that you'll have the feelings that go with it, right? You'll have this feeling of guilt or frustration, or certainly the exhaustion that comes from it. And that's what starts to pile up. And the problem is that when we never stop to reflect, all of that just stays crammed into the corners of our minds. We keep adding more and more until we're carrying around an entire year's worth of emotional clutter. Now, reflection, it gives us permission to just kind of pull it all out, to look at it honestly, and to decide what we want to keep, what we want to learn from, and what we're finally ready to let go of. And just like cleaning out a closet, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is to get some space, space to breathe, space to heal, space to be creative again, and of course, space to enjoy teaching again. Because sometimes what feels like burnout isn't that you've lost your passion. It's that your mind is so cluttered with everything that you've been carrying that there's no room left for joy. And I'm telling you, summer is the perfect time to start clearing some of that space out. And if you want some guidance in how to really utilize some reflection time to really get that stuff out and start to sort it out, I want you to go check out episode 140. It was just a couple of episodes ago where I talked a lot more about how to take that reflective time and really land softly into summer break. So that will give you some good guidance in that direction. So now we'll go to the next step. After reflection is release, because you can't carry everything. I know you probably try. I know I try sometimes. So many of us teachers try to just carry everything and shove it down, but you can't carry the student that you couldn't quite reach. I know it's sad. I know it's hard. You can't carry that parent email that still bothers you. I've had a few in my career, let me tell you. You can't carry the lessons that flopped, and maybe it was during an observation, which makes it even harder, right? You can't carry that behavior issue that seemed to just consume every ounce of your patience. You can't carry the guilt. And I'm telling you, if you are trying, that backpack gets heavy, really, really heavy. I often talk about those moments that feel like a 50-foot tidal wave crashing into your classroom, right? The problem is that sometimes we keep carrying that wave long after it's over. Summer, it's not just a time to rest your body, it's a chance to release what was never yours to carry forever. Not every problem needs to follow you into June. Not every disappointment deserves a front row seat in July. Sometimes healing starts by deciding, I'm taking that lesson, but I'm leaving the weight behind. Now, I am no therapist, but I do want to encourage you to think about what is the best way that you can release some of these things. For some of you, it's going to be just saying, okay, I release this and it's gone. For some of you, it's just going to be writing something down, crumpling it up, and throwing it away. But I know that some of you are carrying things that are really, really heavy for you. So I want to encourage you, talk to a friend, talk to someone, see what outlet you can take to help you to fully release some of these things that you've been carrying. All right, now we're on to the third step, okay? And this is where the true wonders start to happen. The first step is to reflect. Next is to release. And the third one is to reset. Because the goal isn't just to survive another year. The goal is to enjoy teaching again, right? A lot of teachers spend the summer hoping next year will somehow feel different. But hope is good. It's just not a strategy. What if instead of crossing your fingers and hoping student behaviors improve, or hoping or waiting for a better class roster, or instead of relying on a new curriculum or a new initiative to save the day, you intentionally reset things for yourself? What if you walked into next year with a plan for creating calm, a plan for building connection, a plan for engaging students before behaviors escalate, a plan for protecting your own energy? The teachers who come back refreshed aren't always the ones who rested the most. They're often the ones who use the summer to reset their mindsets, to reset their systems, and reset who they are as a teacher. And that's exactly why I created the Classroom Reset, because I know what it feels like to love teaching, but feel buried underneath the daily teacher drain. I know what it feels like to wonder if next year will be more of the same. And I also know it doesn't have to be. A few years ago, I remember finishing a school year completely convinced that summer would fix everything. I remember walking out of school and feeling the door shut behind me and thinking to myself, I don't ever want to look at that building again. Like, I will travel different routes so I don't have to even look at the building. I needed to get away, and I just tried to completely block that school year off so that I didn't have to think about it. And I was trying to protect myself, right? But what I really was doing was shoving all of those emotions, all of those situations that I had to deal with, all those problems that I had dealt with, all the issues that were going on in that school year. I was just shoving them into my backpack. And then when I got home, I took that invisible emotional backpack and I threw it into my quote unquote closet and shut the door. I did not want to deal with it. And then I went off and I had my vacations and I focused on my family and I had my times outside and I was really trying to rest and enjoy my summer because I thought that if I just rested enough, I would feel better and ready. And for a while, I did feel better. But about 2 or so weeks before the start of my school, the same frustrations came rushing back. It was almost like I was forced to open that closet door, pull out that backpack, and start looking at things and it was hard because what I needed wasn't just rest and vacation and relaxation. I really needed a chance to reset. I needed that time to reflect and release things and then work towards resetting things. I needed to look honestly at what was working, what wasn't, and what needed to change. And that's exactly why I ended up creating the Classroom Reset. This teacher-centered online course that I've designed to help you create that calm, connected, engaging classroom that you've been dreaming about without adding more to what you're already doing. The focus isn't on becoming a different teacher. It's about becoming the teacher that you already know you can be. The teacher that's really just inside you just needs to come out again. And if you're listening right now and thinking, I don't want next year to feel like this year, I want to invite you to take a good look at the Classroom Reset. You can go to theinspiredclassroom.com/reset because you deserve more than a survival mode. You deserve to enjoy teaching again. And this summer could just be the perfect time for you to jump in and do this reset for yourself. Listen, recovery isn't just about rest. It is about reflection. It's about releasing, and it's about resetting yourself. You've got this. I hope you enjoy your summer. Take care of yourself. And remember, the best version of next school year starts with the choices that you make this summer. All right, I'll see you next time.
I hope this episode inspired you, encouraged you, or gave you a fresh idea to try. And if so, I would love for you to take a screenshot and text it to one of your teaching buddies. I'm so grateful that you landed here with me today, and it would mean the world to me if you would leave me a review over on Apple Podcast. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll catch you on the next episode. This is Elizabeth Peterson reminding you to get inspired so you can be inspiring to your students and enjoy teaching again.